President Donald Trump's suggestion that he might block the opening of the bridge linking Windsor and Detroit immediately sent shockwaves across North America. Within hours, a nearly completed infrastructure project was pulled into a political storm. Ottawa responded just as quickly. Prime Minister Mark Carney held an early Tuesday morning call with Trump to challenge what Canada viewed as inaccurate claims. What mattered most, however, was not the speed of the response, but its tone. Carney did not escalate the dispute or trade personal attacks. Instead, he returned the conversation to facts and agreements. Canada paid the full upfront construction cost. The United States, through the state of Michigan, holds an ownership stake under the 2012 Accord. This was a joint project born of bilateral cooperation, not a unilateral advantage for Ottawa. Carney underlined that Canada invested roughly $4 billion in the core construction of the Windsor-Detroit.
I explained that Canada, of course, paid for the construction of the bridge, over $4 billion, that the ownership is shared between the state of Michigan and the government of Canada.
The project itself reflects that cooperation. Workers from both countries were involved, and steel and materials were sourced from both Canada and the United States. This directly contradicted Trump's earlier claim that the bridge contained virtually no American components. Ownership was also clarified. The bridge is not the property of the U.S. federal government alone. It is jointly owned by Canada and the state of Michigan. While Canada financed the entire initial construction, the legal framework guarantees shared ownership. Operations are handled by the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, with oversight managed through an international structure that gives both sides equal representation. This design reinforces the core reality of the project. It is not a national possession. It is shared infrastructure inside an integrated North American economy. Speaking on Parliament Hill, Carney described the bridge as a clear example of cooperation between.
Look forward to it opening, and what is particularly important, of course, is the commerce and the tourism and the voyages of Canadians and Americans that will go across that bridge.
Carney focused on three central points. Canada covered the full upfront cost. Workers and materials from both countries were used. And the economic interests of Michigan and the broader Midwest are deeply tied to this crossing. The message was unmistakable. Any disruption would not hurt Canada alone. When Carney said, "What is particularly important, of course, is that trade, tourism, and the travel of Canadians and Americans will pass across that bridge," he was grounding the debate in economic reality. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is not a symbol of national pride. It is a critical link in a supply chain. Designed to ease pressure on the aging Ambassador Bridge, it secures the flow of nearly a quarter of U.S.-Canada trade. In the auto sector, parts can cross the border multiple times before a vehicle is finished. In an era of fragile global supply chains, this bridge is more than concrete and steel. It is insurance against disruption. At the provincial level, Ontario Premier Doug Ford added a sharper political edge, showing no sign of retreat in response to Washington's rhetoric.
Make no mistake about it, as sure as I'm talking to you, I'm very confident this bridge is going to open. I'll tell you the reason why it's going to open, because it's in the best interest of the American economy, the Americans, the 13 Congress people that are going for re-election in the midterms, which the Republicans own probably 7 of those seats and 1 Senate seat as well. And the worst thing you could do is hurt the American economy and continue to hurt the American.
Ford stressed that the bridge benefits the U.S. economy just as much as Canada's. By pointing to support for Michigan politicians, he shifted the focus inward toward American interests themselves. He avoided framing the issue as Ottawa versus Washington. Instead, he framed it as a question of Midwestern economic reality. His reference to Trump's 2017 remarks was deliberate. At that time, the bridge was praised as a vital economic link and a symbol of cooperation between two countries. Now, it was being treated as leverage. That shift highlighted a deeper problem.
Folks, the deal was struck that Canada, the federal government, built it. And if President Trump didn't want this to go forward, why did he fast track it in 2019?
This reversal is more than a simple change of tone. It creates uncertainty, and uncertainty always carries a cost. If a project once promoted as a partnership can suddenly be turned into a bargaining chip, the implications go far beyond a single bridge. The real question becomes the reliability of bilateral commitments. Are signed agreements still stable foundations, or are they merely opening positions for the next negotiation? Ford therefore called for no concessions, not to inflict.
We're going to continue building our economy and being strong. But folks, this is not the time. And this is my message to the Prime Minister and the people of Canada. This is not the time to roll over and let President Trump take advantage of us. Keep saying that we've taken advantage of the Americans. Contrary.
He rejected outright the claim that the project contains virtually no American components, reinforcing the argument that this bridge is the product of shared labor, shared materials, and shared.
I want to go back to the bridge. You said there was no U.S. content. That's, again, it's not truthful. 75%, yes, we're Canadian steel and concrete because we're paying for it. 25% was U.S. steel and concrete. Then the interchange going on from the Michigan side, it was all American workers, all American steel, all American concrete. So again, there's fiction, what President Trump says, and then there's true facts that people can look up and see exactly where we stand. Sorry.
That same day, the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority confirmed that the project remains on schedule to open in early 2026. Its statement avoided the political controversy entirely. Instead, it emphasized benefits for all of North America: investment, jobs, trade, tourism, and the shared ownership structure between Canada and Michigan. The message was consistent and deliberate. This bridge is a foundation of cooperation, not a tool of confrontation. Taken as a whole, the responses from Ontario and Ottawa reveal a clear strategy. No escalation, no emotional rhetoric, no turning a policy dispute into a symbolic showdown. Just a steady return to economics and legal structure in an increasingly uncertain geopolitical climate. That is how stability is maintained rather than being sacrificed to short-term political